Are we live? Oh, that's us.
Hello.
How? Hi everybody.
Somebody told me I didn't smile enough in the last one, so
Wait, for real?
yeah.
Is that your smile?
Yeah.
Alright, you gotta do that the whole time though.
Okay.
Alright, cool. Welcome to the DM newsletter for December for This Is Gonna Hurt, your friendly neighborhood 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons podcast. There's a chair over there, but it's empty at the moment.
I sense
A presence.
a presence, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, we're working it out.
Make cast detect good and evil.
So, Owen just got here. So usually we have a minute to discuss what we're going to talk about before
Yeah,
we
that's
do
true.
this. And we didn't. So this is going to be on the fly. I just realized we never actually... We got to put something in the podcast about who won the contest last month. So we're
Yeah.
going to do that when we're done here really quick, I guess. But for those who are up to date and listening to our little podcast, we just got to and really quickly left the City of Glass.
Yeah, well, 3 sessions in the elemental plane of water was enough.
That's true.
So I
Oh, okay.
concocted a way to motivate you to not dally-dilly.
Okay. What about dilly-dallying?
I didn't want that either.
No? Okay. So, I had two thoughts
What's up?
about what we just did that I feel like we can discuss possibly. Mott mentioned that the Merid, the cathedral? Citadel
Yeah,
of the
Citadel.
Merid, would have been more expensive
Yeah.
for one thing, and that they tend to be stuffy or arrogant,
Mhm.
high and mightier,
Mhm.
higher. I don't, you know.
I wish you could have met them. I had names for
I
all
know.
of them.
I really wanted to
I
meet
know.
them. Could you give us like a
yeah, I
rundown
mean,
of,
you're
like,
not
what-
gonna...
It's very unlikely.
You know what? We're gonna pause. When somebody gets here and takes that spot, I'm actually gonna dip out. Because my Surface is in my car, I actually have all their names, and I want to share them, because I'll never get
really?
to share them. And so I'll go get my Surface, and then...
All right, cool.
Or my nondescript, non-specific tablet.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so we can skip that for a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
My other.
I will to answer
Yeah.
the question you were alluding to. I think he said that if basically like if you had gone right, so there were 2 paths you could have gone, right? You could have gone to the City of Glass or the Citadel of 10,000 Pearls.
Right.
Citadel of 10,000 Pearls is exclusively Merid, very small,
Okay.
and they're like the lawmaking body for the elemental plane.
Is that
Of
I have a question
water.
about that? Is that like did everybody agree to that, or did they just show up and were like, "We're in charge"?
Pretty much.
Okay, that's how.
Yeah,
cool.
but they're powerful, you know,
Right.
they're water genie, you know, so hard to mess with 100 guys who can all cast the spell Wish once a day,
That's fair.
you
Yeah,
know?
okay.
I don't know if Murids can. They must, because Jin can. And,
Right.
But, so, it's almost mean to tell you, if you had gone the right path, which... So the way, sorry, I'm recapping myself.
No worries.
You guys went left, which got you to the Chum Caverns, where you
Right.
fought
Karen.
Karen, who is kind of like brought to life by this cloud of plankton, and then the Desolate Seas, which was the Diane Fletchman, my new favorite NPC. If you had gone the other way, it was going to be like Goo Lagoon,
Okay.
and you were going to fight this giant Larry the Lobster.
Oh, that would have been cool.
And the part of him that you were gonna see sticking out of the goo is gonna be white, like suntan lotion, and it's gonna be this like little like thing, and then it would have been just a similar jellyfish kind of thing. But
Okay.
I think I'll check my service when I get it. I wish it was here. But yeah, if you had gone that way, you definitely would have made enough money because it would have been more sand dollars to get it, but you would have had enough. You would have had plenty.
Okay.
And basically, it didn't matter what you guys did. Oh, we didn't do it yet. You guys, last episode ends with you diving, right?
Yeah, it's literally the moment like we're going down, I think, and then nothing after that.
That'll be on the next newsletter then.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been just a nicer rock,
Gotcha.
pretty much.
Okay.
Cool. And it would have, next newsletter. I'll be right back.
Wait.
What?
I guess you can go. That's fine. We're already live, just so you know.
All right.
You can come on in.
Sure.
Everybody, for the first time ever, please welcome to the newsletter
You're that one.
That's me.
the guy who voices Lorthamar.
Hey guys, what's up?
Ooh.
That's Jeremy.
Hi.
Oh, I'm like right under the light, and now I feel like very shiny.
I'm dark. Dark as
Matches the characters.
night. Yeah.
Yeah, go for it. So, just so you know what we were just talking about, and why Owen ran out. I was asking him about the Citadel of the Merid because
Yeah.
I wanted to know about it, and he told me that he has like names for all the characters. Did you forget something?
Yeah.
Your coat and your keys?
I brought my Surface into my apartment.
Oh.
So it's not here.
All right.
Sorry.
So we'll do that next time too.
Sorry. I'll do an article post.
Oh yeah, that would be a good idea.
About the
All
Merid.
right.
It'll be
Cool.
more inclusive.
All right, so that takes care of that.
What's up, dude?
How's it going? It's good to be here.
Hey,
How's
What
it
was
going?
your
this is weird.
other question?
Oh, the City of Glass. So, was there more that could have been done? Like before, we spent 3 sessions in the elemental plane of water. Was there more that like we could have done in the City of Glass if we had gotten there faster, or did we pretty much hit like the hot spots and then like that was it?
I mean,
And also, what's gonna happen to all those people? Do we just leave a trail of destruction in our wake?
Oh, they did.
you'll have to find a way to
Find out. All right.
communicate with them.
Cool.
There are some pretty cool wizard spells about contacting other planes and whatnot.
Yeah,
So now you know the names of elementals in other planes. So
that's true. Okay.
Just throwing that out there. I mean, if you had gotten there sooner, maybe I would have let you kind of just run with it.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know, probably.
Cool.
But 3 sessions seemed like enough.
We spent a lot of time in the elemental plane of water, way more than like I thought.
I mean,
we
I
would.
wanted you. I mean, you know, again, I felt in retrospect, I felt like air was rushed.
Yeah.
Rush of air.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
it's
good.
going, yeah.
That's good. So I wanted to slow it down a bit, just kind
Gotcha.
of like the amount of time that was needed to actually do.
Cover everything.
Yeah, you know. What I mean?
Do stuff. Cool.
What do you guys think of the chalk monsters?
Chalk monsters
Classic.
were super cool.
Classic.
I have been offended for 2-3 months now that Lorthamar killed Bonzi.
Yeah, I listened to it yesterday. I listened to the chalk one yesterday, and I was just like, Brimley doesn't know. But I mean, like, Bonzi can tell him things.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
like a connection there.
It wasn't like a personal attack. It was just kind of like it seemed like a powerful weapon, right? Something that shouldn't be grasped
Which
by
we grasped.
people who shouldn't be.
You have 2 more.
Shouldn't be trusted with with certain things. So I was like, oh, we should destroy this thing. I saw the bird go for it, and I was like,
Octopus.
Bird. Yeah, it was an octopus.
octopus. Sorry,
Octopus.
octopus is an octopus.
You know, I was listening to it, and I couldn't remember after you get, Windar finds the 2 more in the bag. I couldn't remember listening to it, actually, if Lorthamar, like,
Knows he has
stole the
them.
bag, or, like, if he knew.
Okay.
And as I'm thinking, like, is he going to destroy those 2? I literally was listening in suspense because I really couldn't remember what had happened.
I don't remember if we said it or not, but I know that
He doesn't.
Windar took one and Brimley took
You
one.
both have one.
Yeah.
I don't know if Lorthamar knows, but even then, I was wondering
Well,
myself. I'm like, how many powerful items will you destroy just to like keep them out of the hands of evil?
Or just out of the hands of your party
what I mean?
members. I feel like you kind of.
I don't even know the extent of those chalks.
That's fair.
Like in my head, that the head, the Ganassi head that he was holding, was like a ritual
Okay.
needed to bring these creatures to life. You know, so I mean, like
Right.
I don't know.
Ooh, that's all. That's
You know,
awkward,
I don't
man.
know the extent of like how long that ritual lasts because, I don't want to spoil, but like, there is a point where later on
Yeah.
you use the chalk to make a thing, and you know
It does a thing.
it makes the thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And no blood required. So I think it's some amount of time maybe that it'll
Okay.
last, and then
There's another sacrifice left to be made.
yeah,
So-
Brimley's head, Lorthamar's holding it.
I have a question. Does Lorthamar just view like the rest of the party as just like children that he has to supervise that like can't be trusted with powerful objects? Or is it just like you don't want, or he doesn't want like just evil to get a hold of it, so he doesn't want to like take like the chance?
So, I think there are glimmers of hope, where the party makes good decisions and good things happen. But then there's just moments where it's like, really, and those moments where you say really are just too. There are too many of them
Fair.
for Lorthamar's sake.
Yeah.
It's just there's some decisions that Windar has made in the past, and I'm just can't do. I don't know what he's thinking sometimes. So
Props to Craig. Why?
I don't know.
For
doing random
performing,
things.
No.
for throwing wrenches into plants, into gears.
He.
Being true to.
Oh, he conspiracide.
He conspiracizes about
Does it all the
everything.
time, and he's almost always wrong. And he conspiracized that if you, like, attacked Chalk Brimley or you attacked Chalk Lorthamar, it wouldn't hurt you. Because remember, Korath, like,
Oh, yeah,
dropped
yeah.
Brimley and whatever,
Yeah.
and he was just like, "That's my theory," and it was true. That was true. Other people might have had it too, but I was just happy for him that one of his conspiracies
Panned
panned out
Yeah.
to be correct.
Succeeded.
I feel like that might have been the first one.
It might have been. And to be honest, I warned Alex and Craig because they both like to give me their theories on what's going to happen.
Right.
And I said, if you get it right, it has to change. Like, I cannot let
Right.
you be right, you know? Like, so it might be in essence the same, but I'm gonna
Tweak
flip
it or
something
something.
around to make it wrong. So if you think this, like, keep it to yourself. I don't,
Yeah.
I know what to do. I've had this story in
Yeah.
my head since high school,
I'm just thinking. I don't remember if
which
the
was
chalk,
a while ago.
Yeah. I don't remember if the chalk episode came out before our last newsletter, but so we fought like the kind of images of ourselves,
Mhm.
and I would like to point out that when you guys listened to our second podcast, that was recorded 6 months ago
It was.
before this session. Just saying, just putting it out
A
there.
little bit of a spoiler.
Yeah.
Maybe something to be excited for.
Yeah.
When it happened, I think I actually pulled you aside and said, "Listen, I have something similar
You
planned."
did. But it was like after we
But
had
I've
done
been thinking
that.
about this
Yeah.
forever because it's literally, pencil doodle bob. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I've had it planned forever.
That was cool.
And I thought chalk. I actually asked you to give me the first figurines that you guys had.
Yeah.
And I was going to use them on a map, which I totally should have used the map for that. That was so dumb of me not to. It was really hard to imagine.
We have been getting away from
There will be maps again.
Yeah.
Now that you've resurfaced.
Cool.
Yeah.
I've run out of questions for the moment. Jeremy, you have anything?
Yeah. So
This is this is my honesty time.
Yeah,
so
this
if you
is
ask
where
me
like you can
things,
ask him thing. He'll
and I will pretty much
as long as it doesn't spoil something that's like coming up.
Right.
Like he'll.
something that
Yeah.
we've recorded that they haven't seen
yeah, I
yet.
just have to make sure then because I definitely just listened to a bunch.
Yeah, I
of
know,
The
right?
last thing is when they dove.
The
You
tentacles
guys
came up,
you saw the tentacles come
Yeah.
up and you guys dove
Okay.
into the abyss. And
but it's
that's-
like when there's like we're going down and then we haven't gone down yet. Yeah.
Mm.
I have something cool while you're thinking of questions. I
Yeah,
have something
go
cool to think of. if you watch this, check out our Twitter. I've asked this. I've
Our Twitter or your Twitter?
the podcast Twitter.
Okay.
I've chosen very carefully how I'm going to word this, so don't correct me. Okay.
Okay.
I've asked all 4 of the guys to make second characters for some reason. So watch our Twitter, because at least one of them is going to be putting up kind of like a poll, and they're going to pitch like 3 or 4 different second character ideas, and we'll let you, the listener, decide which of the 4 they do. I'm hoping all 4 of them do it that way. At least one of them said they were going to do that. So what those second characters are for, you will see in due time. So that's that.
Cool.
Okay. I can see that. So what was his name from the town that Lorthamore County became friendly with? The big strong
Mott.
Wait, was he a reference to
guy?
anything, or was it just
He was a reference. He was a blatant rip from One Piece, which I get a lot of my inspiration comes from One Piece and Naruto and Bleach and Fairy Tail, the 4 greatest adventure manga that have ever been made. There's a bunch of nerds who are going to be like, no, it's Samurai Champloo. Samurai Champloo is really good. But Tom, which is Mott backwards, is the is this yellow puffer fishman who built the ship for Gol D. Roger, who was king of the pirates, and he was the mentor of this character named Frankie, who builds the new ship for the main character Luffy, Monkey D. Luffy, and so I made him Russian. He wasn't supposed to be Russian, and
Just
he
the
wasn't
accent
Russian in the
that
show.
happens.
It just felt good to like make him Russian.
See, I run into that problem when I do, like, in the second podcast, because I am really, really bad at accents.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can do my voice, and I can make it a little deeper, and I can make it a little higher, and that's my range.
That's the extent.
Yeah,
it.
that's all I
It's
got.
been fun for me trying to like, because Gallandan and Aegisar have the same voice. Exactly.
I picture them meeting and it being like the 2 guys from Family Guy that meet. I think it's the dad and like the doctor or something, and their voices are exactly the same.
They're voiced by the same person. Yeah. And did you say the dad?
Mr. Peterschmidt.
Oh! I see.
I think it's him and the doctor.
I think so too. So it's been fun for me trying to like figure out, where I mean they're all basically the same. Like if Solus and Keck were in a room together.
Right.
They're similar. I learned I could do Long Island Girl with Isabella. That was unintentional. My bad. I think a lot about Keck lately.
It's almost like we're from there.
Yeah, it's almost.
right?
Yeah, it's
I've been
pretty
thinking a lot
close.
about Keck lately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
No, I don't want to spoil the thing.
Like I've been listening. I've been hearing songs and thinking like.
Sorry.
For some reason, I thought there was like a dog in here,
Oh yeah, we got a dog, and I just
didn't
been
didn't.
talking about that
That wouldn't have
nonstop.
made any sense. But I've been hearing like these like songs. Like I've been listening to the script again
Okay.
for the first time in a while, and like that to me is Keck. Like Keck is like his music is
Over-emotional.
the script. Like a little too over emotional. Like he knows he's handsome, and appealing.
Is that how the script is? They just know they're
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Just as a group.
Yeah.
collectively handsome. Therefore,
yes.
Sorry, I cut one of you off.
No, it's
No, I was
You
just
were gonna
saying
say
I keep
something?
going to say something because I had so much fun in the last session that we played. It was super frustrating on my part in some parts of it.
The one
which-
they haven't seen yet.
The one they haven't seen yet. But
listen to.
true
Right.
facts.
Watching
But I
sound
keep
waves.
like that's all I can think about. So I'm having a really hard time like thinking of things that aren't that. On a different note, I finished editing the first day of our second podcast.
Oh, that was the first day.
That was the first day.
Oh,
I was gonna say because you boiled down to like
Like,
7.5
seven-
hours,
seven
and
and a
I
half
thought there's
hours.
no way.
No, that wasn't 2 days.
There's no
that was
way.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
What was that? 16
Yeah, I think
Raw
we played
hours.
for. I think the original amount was something like 17 or 18.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's no way that
Yeah.
boiled down to 7. So
No, so
Okay.
so day one is down to 7.5 or something like that.
I'm glad, but also sad
right.
that there's more for you to do.
Yeah, I have a whole other day. I feel like the second day should be a little easier just because of the way we were much we were more efficient the second day.
Yeah, we were in a groove.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for that. I hope.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Cool.
hope we get there.
I actually haven't checked to see if anybody's here with us, which probably not.
Don't draw attention to it.
Oh, cool. We got a
Bunch of people.
Yeah.
Woo!
Woo!
I was saying, even if not that many people tune in,
It's still something they can
it's
watch
one.
afterwards.
It's fun for me. Like it's gonna be fun for me. Like when this thing is like 4 or 5 years old, and we can go back and like see these younger versions of ourselves with like big dumb beards and stuff, and being like,
Yeah, big dumb beards.
what were you thinking, you know, and like kind of see the progress and like remember what it was like to not know a bunch of stuff for you guys, and like
That's true.
I don't know, it's like a diary almost, you know. It's fun to document.
Yeah.
As we go.
Sure, absolutely.
Come on, ask me a question. Come
You know
on,
what
let's
would
go.
be cool?
DM. Or
I
tell
know
me- or
I've
tell me what
suggested
would
a
be cool.
bunch of topics to Owen to covering, to do like in the Patreon articles. Jeremy, is there anything that we've already done like in the last 2 years, like a town or a person we've run into, or just like a history about an area
You want more
that you want
information.
more information about that you've been curious about?
It could be a place you haven't.
Yeah. If it's something quick, we can do it right now, or if it's something that might like take more description, Owen can do it as an article.
It's true.
I mean, one of the biggest things that, what always interests me is the opportunity costs of what our decisions, like what we do and what we don't do. So, like, for example, our path on the way to the Riverside town, right? I mean, is that already been talked about like multiple times? Like,
I think
No.
we like touched on it last week, maybe.
I
Or
mentioned
maybe-
I mentioned something here that has never been mentioned in the podcast, which
Right.
is, and the news just hasn't made it to you guys yet. Is that the Riverside town doesn't exist anymore
I wouldn't be surprised.
because the bandits that killed that girl,
Probably just took it over.
they annihilated the Riverside
I
town.
can
That's
imagine.
that was an opportunity cost of and you know, and even and Korath's reaction when you guys got there was, okay, we need to go do this, and he's like, none of us can sleep, like we can deal with bandits later, like this is like I need you to handle this. But and I mean, if you had stayed, you know, that little, remember like when you were going into the desert,
Right.
there was like a few buildings.
Those buildings
Yeah.
have been
If
gone
you had
for-
gone to take care of the bandits, the buildings would have been covered in sand.
Oh, so like the
You know what I
desert would've,
mean? Like
spread
one
out
way or
even more.
another, people
Gotcha.
were getting hurt.
There was no winning. Or
If you guys, here's the
Win-win.
thing: if you guys had gone, remember there was 3 choices.
Yeah.
When you left Lorne, you
That's
could
what I was
take the
referring
river
to.
path
Yeah.
through the wilds or take the road. You chose the river path, where you met Toko. If you had taken the other 2, there would have been 2 different NPCs that you would have met.
Can you tell us, because you've mentioned that a couple
You
times?
wouldn't have met Toko.
Can you give us some information about those guys?
The one of the paths, I believe, is the wilds. You would have met Udael, who is the half elf, who volunteered to guide you into the desert.
Oh yeah, okay.
And you know, he said like, this is your guide. And then you guys were like, no, we want Toko. And Toko was like, my name, so here I am, Toko. But you would have met Udael. She would have just been like hunting
Okay.
in the woods. And if I'm being perfectly honest with you, I don't remember the other one.
That's cool.
It's on the surface that doesn't exist.
Was Toko always a member of the assembly,
There you go.
or was that like because he was so well liked that you were like, I gotta throw him in somehow?
Let me think. He became, while I was planning for the dream, so you guys touched the rock
Mm-hmm.
and then went into the dream world, and that gave me time to figure out everything that was going to happen. In that gap
Okay.
is when I decided he would be part of it. I don't know that I decided that he was a vice captain.
Okay.
I knew that he was in it somehow.
Cool.
And that changed depending on who. Actually, maybe not. maybe not, because I think I remember thinking that if you guys, depending on the way you picked and the person you bumped into, that person would be in it.
Okay.
More like a sentry more than anything. Not
Right,
so,
just like a person that's associated.
So maybe it was earlier actually that I even contemplated that Toko would be in the assembly.
Cool.
But I can't remember. Toko.
I mentioned it on Twitter, but for our second podcast, there were accusations of too much guiding, and I decided to go to the other extreme, and I've come up with like 27 or I think like 29 now, just different events that happen in the different areas you guys might go to, just in case. Do you?
No.
No?
Why? What's the question? Sorry.
Actually, Jeremy too. Jeremy DMs sometimes.
Oh,
Yeah.
sometimes, very rarely.
Almost
no.
never.
Almost. I prefer not to now.
He DM'd my first game, my first real game,
That was fun.
Yeah.
where I knew I was playing D&D, and knew the edition.
True facts. But do you guys plan out that much, or to like have that many open-ended things, or is it kind of like you have like an idea that can kind of sit anywhere, and that you just use that and adapt it? Does that make sense?
So I have an answer if you're still thinking. So for me, I know it really depends on who's playing. Even honestly,
Okay.
someone like Owen is very hard to DM for.
It's true.
So it's for me
I have
like
control issues.
it doesn't matter how many options I make. It really just everything gets thrown off either way.
Yeah.
Not exclusively by me, for the record.
No, honestly, and when it's more people too, like that whole 8 people is just a mess because they all just want to do something and be epic, and nobody wants to be the support character who's like, you know what, I'm just gonna be a follower. Everybody's like, oh, I want to do my own thing. I want to do my own thing. I want to do this too, and it's like, all right, guys, well, this is not gonna work that way. So
That's true. I feel like though in like a 3.5 campaign where we had like a rotating cast of characters, like that went pretty well. Like we didn't have anybody that was like, I mean,
I
a little
think-
bit, but not like too much.
I think everybody was on the same page, and
That's
everybody
true.
like played together.
Yeah.
Like it was kind of one of those things where I think everybody just knew that we were going to be a group together, so we just
Okay.
kind of did it. Whereas when I DM'd the 8 people, it was kind of like, I think it was three people's first time.
Oh, that's a whole
So
other thing.
and it was just like they didn't understand the. You know, I didn't do a good job of bringing them together in the sense, but it's also they just also didn't understand that, you know what, it's like, this game works only if we all go together, like, or it just causes issues,
Right.
and it's just a whole mess. So that the only experience I have DMing are that, and like really long time ago when we were doing 3.5
Yeah.
and like our first time playing, and I really enjoyed that. I like the planning aspect, and I will have a couple things kind of planned for the day just in case.
Mhm.
But my only experiences are like people throw a lot of wrenches, and I
Yeah.
just kind of like, guys, I don't
Like,
have that much time to plan.
immediately.
I don't have that much time to plan, and I'm not that kind of on the spot kind of guy. So relax, but nobody does. So
That is something I have to give props to Owen for like the improv, because there have been a couple times where you're like, yeah, I didn't even plan for that at all. Like that person I made up on the spot or something like that. Like I can't do that.
yeah,
I need to have like a list of people or something
Yeah.
that I can like pick from. You know.
yeah.
So to answer your question, I've been railroading you guys. I'm trying to stop. And my plan, so listeners, the most recent session we did, and you're going to hear this at the beginning of the episode, is I planned nothing. I literally walked in, no stat blocks open, nothing. I walked in and said, let me put myself to the test in terms of improv, because I actually have the most fun. Like I keep saying it, you guys are better than me, because you make me have to just decide something, and it's so like there are things that I need to make sense, and like I'm like almost like anal about like needing some of these details to make sense. But like a lot of the really good moments have just been like you say something and I'm like, oh, like I've taken your ideas so many times, you know, where someone's like, oh, it should have been this, and I'm like, it's that, it's change of plans, like that's what it is, because like that's so much better than what I had. And so my plan is, I was gonna let you guys just do a bunch of stuff and allow myself to, everything good?
Yeah.
Improv. And then once you guys decided like, this is the next leg in our journey, then either one, we'd be out of time.
Okay.
And I'd say, okay, you guys have decided. That's where we're going to pick up next time. Or if there was still, session time that, we don't just want to waste, I would have I have 10 or so road encounters. And just and some of them are just NPCs that you've met along the way who just be walking through and be like, hey, it's you guys, what's up? And just give you just a chance to talk to somebody and just connect dots of where characters are now. And, just to basically buy myself a little time, end the session, and then be able to plan, the next 4 hours. And then from there, need to know, okay, what's next? You guys tell me what's next, and then I can kind of plan.
Cool.
So, and if, because basically it's so you guys decide there are 4 available side quests. Instead of being well, I need to have 1, 2, 3, and 4 totally prepared, it's why don't I just have one road event? And so you decide we're going to go to 1. And then so it's okay, you're going to 1, road event. End the session. Okay, now I can plan this. It's oh, no, we're going to go to 2. Okay. Same road event. And then I have time to plan the sessions. You know what I mean? So it's you guys are still completely driving.
Cool.
But, a way almost to buy time. That's my current
This is strategy.
theory.
Cool.
But I'm also trying to plan a lot less.
Okay.
Because I think I've done enough in terms of deciding rules of the world, and just being okay. I'm not gonna create a list of every duke and count and viscount,
Right.
and I missed one, and baron in the, you know what I mean. It's you guys end up in a small little village, meaning that there be a baron that runs it. I'm gonna come up with the last name on the spot. I'm not gonna be wait a minute, hold on, let me check my coordinates. It's this village, so and it's just
Gotcha.
just gotta wing it sometimes.
Okay. You kind of told us what Lorthamar was doing over the year in our last session that we played that they haven't heard yet. But was that something that Lorthamar was doing the whole year, or was that was there did season 1 end and then you started doing that, or did you do something in the middle there? Or
You're talking about the thing they don't know.
the thing that they don't know that we've been trying to get out of Lorthamar for.
I don't think
Or is that
we
immediately?
gave any indication that the thing that got brought up had anything to do with his year off.
That's true. Is
You
that what
just
you did during
assumed.
your off? That we did just assume.
Wait, the thing that just happened?
The
This
thing
is
that
mean. Why are we
just
doing this in
found
front
out.
of them?
I'm
I don't
confused.
know. Never mind. We'll do this next month probably.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Never mind.
I
was
like
just gonna ask
Lorthamar a
what you
lot.
did over the
I'm
summer
personally
break.
really bummed out by this hashtag kill Lorthamar, because he is the of all the 4 of them, he's the one that has the most goals in terms of his own story that he would like to accomplish, and it's been very slow for it to pan out, but it's been picking up some momentum, believe it or not. And so at least one of the other characters is pretty much just I'm here, I'm just gonna travel around and do my thing, which is awesome. That's great, because it lets you just be well, then this is the adventure of the moment.
Right.
Here we go. But, it's weird to bring up characters from the past when it's just hey, I remember you guys. All right, bye. It's not, they can be we need your help with something. And maybe there's a little side adventure, but it doesn't have an overarching kind of meaning to it.
Right.
And so I really appreciate Lorthamar as a character because of some of the stuff he
That's
wants
true.
to hopefully do.
Yeah. Hopefully it gets done. See
Yeah.
what happens.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's definitely one of the challenges I've had in the other podcast is 2 of the 3 main characters are transplants, so you don't have that
What do you mean?
they're 2 of the 3 main characters are from a different
Oh,
country, and I mean we may be all, I don't know, from different countries in the main podcast, but they didn't go
Yes.
there for they
There we
have
go.
one
except maybe
goal.
Korath, sort of. The
Yeah.
Goliaths do a mountain trail
Right, so maybe he
where they
trekked
spend
through
10 years or something. And so he's been in Etrun before, but he wouldn't call himself a resident.
Cool. I'm tapped out. You guys got anything?
I mean, as far like, have you guys talked at all about what that year off has entailed at all? Like,
Not really.
Not deeper than
Not more than what
the listener knows. Why, is there anything you wanted to say or a
No, 'cause I
question
feel
you wanted
like
to
there
ask?
was a
'Cause
lot
if
of
you want to
things-
ask Brimley, I know a guy who knows him.
what? Really?
So
Can I get his autograph?
I don't know how to do a lot of those letters in script. I got my name down, and just the first and last. Like, if you asked me to do my middle name in script, there'd be like
Coral?
a minute there where.
Right,
I think he means his
Coral?
actual name.
Oh.
Oh wait, no, yeah, my real name.
Oh, okay.
Brimley's name. That's just there's letters in there that I've never seen
Yeah.
before.
Nice.
Um,
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, because like for example, for me, like Lorthmar is just a character who doesn't share a lot.
Yeah.
It's obvious if anybody listens to the podcast. But there is like a lot that I kind of hold in, and a lot that I've talked to Owen about like kind of what he wants to do and his goals and why he came here and stuff like that, and even like things that are going on like where he's from and all these other stuff. So it's like unfortunate that he ended up being kind of like broody and kind of not trusting, but it also makes sense from what he.
I mean, it also
has
works
gone
out
through.
in terms of like what you were referencing earlier. It means that most of the time he's not trying to be a main character. Like most of the time he's not trying
Yeah.
to be the
Yeah.
main character. He's allowing, Windar and Korath to kind of take the lead, and Brimley kind of provides this like color commentary, and it. Is this something wrong with saying that?
no, that was.
It's
Color
not offensive, right?
commentary.
That's
No,
a real,
no,
that's a
I
real
thought that
phrase.
was
Okay,
cool.
you just made me doubt like everything I
What-
knew.
No, color commentary is like so if you're
Yeah, it
there's
gives-
like an analyst kind of commentary and
Yeah.
a color commentary.
Yeah,
I say like,
it gives-
whoa, look at that play, look at this, and you're like, yeah, and the stats say this. Like color commentary is kind of like
Gotcha. So, and Brimley's doing that, and so in a lot of ways, it actually helps the podcast. If there was one more, lead.
yeah. Well, I kind of decided from the beginning that Lorthmar wasn't going to be a leader. Like he was kind of going to be like, I have my own goals.
Yeah.
I need to get things done, and this is just how it's going to work.
Which
for
is
now.
funny to me because he's always like he's like a tactician.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
to me, it's like you would think that he's like natural leader too, and like there have been times where I'm just like, you could totally be like directing things,
Yeah.
but I mean directing is really just like
I
Korath
like it better
smash.
this way.
I do. It's a nice dynamic.
It's funny for me to watch Korath take the lead, honestly. Like characters like Korath and Windar really take the lead. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's, again, not to call them unintelligent by any means, but like Windar is a very intelligent character, but he's not very wise in his decisions. I feel
Impulsive.
like he's very impulsive.
Yeah.
That would be better. So it's funny to see him make decisions, and then Korath is which is funny. Like Korath is not supposed to be. I found it really funny recently how like leader Korath is getting with based on what his character was and what he's like evolving to become. And I just it's really funny to me. But,
He's been reading those like beginner reader
Yeah.
books on the road.
he's like, how to lead.
I was talking with Marissa about how you need to put some amount of yourself into a character.
Mhm.
Or she was actually saying this to me. Because, Alex is very he gets like very hyper focused
Mhm.
on the task. You know what I mean? And he wants it done. And he doesn't like wasting time. And like Korath has kind of become that.
That's
You
true.
know? And it's like, inefficiency, doesn't fly cuz
Yeah.
he's, he's a soldier sort of at heart. He's like a warrior, and like and Windar is a conspiracy theorist because Craig,
It's a conspiracy.
he's played so many video games, you know what I mean, and read so many
He's
books
just looking
that
for all the
exactly
little things.
he's trying to figure out my narrative, before I've kind of like revealed it, and so Windar has become that, and it to like fight it is like wrong.
Mhm.
Like I love magic items. I love magic items. There are characters who I think like, I try to make like character builds for like anime characters. I'm like, okay, how would I make this in D&D? And there are some that you need magic items in order to like make it happen. And I love magic items. And I made a character who doesn't care about magic items. And I immediately was like, it was the wizard that I was playing in the game that Nicole DM'd.
Yeah.
And I changed characters. I said, hey, I don't like, I've fallen out of love with this character because I instantly
Immediately.
realized like I don't want a character who relies on his own strength and doesn't want, like, he was a battle wizard, but he wasn't a war mage. And he would just run into battle, and he would just, like, shock and grasp, and then he would get knocked down, you know? And it was just like, if you're going to do that, he has to have items, but he can't be like, I don't want items to give me power. My power is from within. And I instantly was like, I regret this. This was a mistake. And I built a new character. Because, you know, you can't, like, you got to know how you play the game.
Right.
Yeah.
You know? And so I feel like in a lot of ways, you're a more, like, pull back, and you're really good. Like, this is, you know, praise. You're really good at, I don't want to use the word humble, but, like, you know, pulling back, but then knowing when to kind of, you know, push in to enhance the story. And you do a really good job at that, because most people, myself included, myself predominantly, you know, want to, like, you know, be the main character.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say for myself, like, in most games that I play, and, like, any video game, anything like that, I tend to like being the support character. I mean, besides that, what's the Forbidden Desert game? Where, like, I like strategy.
Yeah,
and I like driving and winning. That's, like, you know, the biggest thing. Besides that, like, I play support characters in like, every game. So for me, it's always, like, you know, how can I best suit the group to help succeed, you know? So a lot of healing, a lot of, like, all that stuff that I usually do. In D&D, I'm still trying to find, like, my favorite thing. But, you know, it's one of those things where, like, I'm okay with other people having their epic moments and just, like, kind of giving them praise for that, encouraging them, like, wow, it's like, you know, outside of the game, not inside the game. Inside the game, I'm a broody elf, so I'm not going to praise you for anything. But outside the game, be like, yo, that was epic, man. That was great. Like, wow, that was cool. You know, and even in the side games and stuff like that, where people, like, new people are playing, allowing them to have epic moments of just, like, you know, oh, like, the 1 in a million shot that, like, got the guy in the eye, and, you know, like, all that stuff is like, whoa, you know, meanwhile, I'm just kind of clapping in the background. So, and I don't mind that, you know, it's fun for me to see other people succeed. As long as we're winning as a group, it doesn't really matter to me, those things. So that's why, honestly, it's sometimes tough to play, like, an elf fighter who's all about just fighting things, because it's like, okay, I need to create an epic moment. Never done this before, support. Then it's like thinking of it in the moment. It's really hard. It's you know, so just something that I struggle with in the game of D&D.
I go back and forth where, like, it's really cool to, like, cast haste on Korath and then watch him, like, destroy a thing because he has, like, the 2 extra hits or whatever every turn. But then I also like casting a really powerful lightning bolt and, like, punching a hole through something. Yeah. So, like, it's hard for me to, like, find, like, the balance.
I was actually going to talk to you about this. I feel like you should start hasting Lorthamar. Because I feel like, I mean, we mentioned it in the Chalk episode that, like, Korath does more damage per turn than Lorthamar, but Lorthamar can't be hit. You know? Like, so I feel like Korath is, like, fine. And, like, you should haste Lorthamar and get him that extra attack.
I don't know.
It's just something I was thinking about.
But, like, I think...
Not to meta.
If we're like, truly metaing, I really think it's better, because I don't think dual wielding, I'm going to do enough damage dual wielding or with a bow to be able to even get close to the amount a two-handed weapon.
No, yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I think,
and he can re-roll his stuff. It's
with
crazy.
Divine Smite.
I mean, I guess ultimately it adds out in the end.
Yeah.
Whether or not Lorthamar does this much extra damage or Korath does this much extra damage, I mean, it's the same.
Yeah, I think personally it's just, and this is again from, like, visualizing in video game stuff like that. Watching some guy with a big hammer swing really fast is just fun. Really appealing to me.
I mean, most of the times that I've described casting haste on Korath, there's been something like a slap on the bottom.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be really funny.
It wouldn't fly.
Immediately lose the hands. But you'd be faster already, so it's okay.
That haste buff would be really put to use.
So I was really excited to play support in the second podcast.
Yeah, that didn't...
And
I mean, it kind of...
What you'll see, listeners, is that the 2 other people are so funny together. They're such a good duo that they actually needed me, and you'll see why that's ironic. The character that I've made, which, by the way, I'm talking about putting ourselves in the characters. The character I play in the second podcast is I feel the most comfortable playing. Like, there are NPCs really that I feel like I can pick up at any time. Oboth.
Mhm.
Like the voice hurts my throat, but like I can snap into him in an instant, and I know where it comes from. There are some that Galandan and Aegisar, I really actually struggle with, like being like proper and like serious enough because I'm just not that way. But the character I play in the B Team podcast, I like really like it's easy for me to play, and I really wanted him to be support because I know myself and I know that I try to like hog the limelight, but I kind of like I end up having to like take the reins a few times because they're so funny together. And there's like the two of them are such a good duo. Two people you guys have never met, by the way.
Which is hysterical because they met for the first time
That
game
day.
day.
That day,
Yeah.
and they play off each other in such a funny way. But like I instantly knew like, oh, I'm the brains of the operation. That's not what I wanted, but that I love that character. I can't wait to play him again.
Yeah, I mean that was definitely a funny experience for sure.
Cool.
And it was good for us too, as you know. I mean, different people jumping in at random times. Stuff it was
a good time.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Well, we hit 45 minutes, which is longer than we usually do. So I think I'm gonna call it for today.
15 minutes per person.
Yeah, it's not bad.
If we had all 5 of us here, we'd be going for whatever 5 times 15 is.
Long.
Yeah.
And there'd be a lot more tangents.
So many.
There would have been cool. So I guess we'll see you in January. After the rest of this session happens.
This is gonna New Year.
This is gonna New Year. Ooh. Yeah. Oh man, that would have been a good. We have to get like a list of like the holiday sessions.
This is gonna New Year.
Cool. All right.
Oh, you're hoping that there's theoretically 2 remaining holiday sessions. I'd like to see what the listeners think the next one should be.
I'm 100% voting for Leif Erikson Day. If we don't do Leif Erikson Day, we have failed.
We may fail.
That's a little bit true. I mean, I've been based on the fact that we are the SpongeBob podcast. But,
yeah, I guess so.
Right.
It is what it is.
Cool. Bye, everybody.
Peace.
I gotta find the stop button. This is awkward now. This is like when you say bye to somebody.
It's